Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Bird Brain Podcast, where the goal is to rise above it all, stay elevated, create that infinity up your you. I'm your host Isaiah, and I know it's been a kind of weird wind down in terms of the end of the year, but I've been thinking about doing something different, and I'm following through. So to end the year off in a good way, in the best way possible, I decided that I want to have people on the podcast that I truly value, that are invaluable people in community, but also in my life. My friends, family, some of my biggest supporters, people I've talked about on this podcast to ad nauseum. So you guys probably know of them, but yeah, I decided I want to have them talk on the podcast and just have a conversation. And today, I'm starting it off properly with my sister, my homie, my best friend since birth. So it should be a cool conversation, and it's I'm excited to share her with you guys, and I'm grateful that she's going to be a part of this. So yeah, stay tuned, take some notes. You might find out some interesting things, but yeah, it should be a good conversation. And also, as always, if you like what you listen to on the podcast, head on over to iTunes where you can support, subscribe, rate, comment, review. And you could also follow the Bird Brain Podcast on Instagram and on Twitter. And if you want to support the podcast, head on over to patreon.com/the Bird Brain Podcast, where you can become a patron. There's different tiers, different rewards, different goodies that you get in return. And as always, anything that you do to support the podcast is always appreciated. So with all that being said, stay tuned. Rise above it all. Stay elevated. And create that infinity of your you. Of your you. Guys, what's going on? Welcome to the Bird Brain Podcast. Happy Tuesday. Yes, I didn't release an episode yesterday, but there will be a lot of episodes coming in the next weeks and the following days. Honestly, I'm trying to release a podcast like every day until the new year. And I just decided this time around to have people on that I think are very inspirational people. Amazing humans, amazing hearts, and constants in my life. Like when I first talked about the podcast and how it came about, I talked about the importance of hummingbirds and, you know, what they symbolize and what they mean and how strong they are. But they've always been like a good luck charm for me. And I have human hummingbirds, people in my life that represent hummingbirds to me because of just how they show up and what they are capable of and just how amazing they are. So I'm starting this whole thing off with my sister. My sister, she's a dope ass human. And, you know, if you know me personally, or if you just know the podcast, you've heard me talk about her quite often. And, I never hesitate to bring her up just because I think she's dope, and she's a powerhouse. You know, she's shorter than me, but she's my big sister, and she kicks ass. She literally kicks ass, and I'll let her tell you that whole tale. But you know, just somebody that's dope, and I have her here on the line. So without further ado, Tanya, what's up, lady?
Hi everyone.
Don't be shy.
Okay.
Say hi like you mean it. Say it with your chest.
Hi everyone. How are ya? Is that better?
No, that's trash.
Oh, okay.
Dude, what's up?
Oh, thanks for having me on the Bird Brain Podcast.
Yeah.
Hashtag take flight.
Hashtag don't do that.
Oh. Oops. Okay.
You're a mess, dude. That's great. No, I appreciate you coming on and wanting to be for one, you're the first guest in this marathon, but also you just been you're one of the people I've had the longest relationships with. So I think it's just important to like just talk about who you are. So tell us a little bit about yourself, like who you are, what you do, favorite food, favorite movie, and we'll go from
Okay.
there.
Okay, so I'm Latanya Frizzell, Isaiah's sister, his favorite sister, his only sister.
Head tilt.
That's me. I'm an Aries, born and raised in New Jersey. I reside in Maryland now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the education field. I work in alternative education, so I help those students who need extra attention with behavioral support. So those are the students that, sometimes they don't have a great day or sometimes they're just struggling to do their assignments. So I make sure I give them that extra attention and support that they can benefit from in a school setting.
That's so.
Since we're virtual now, I can still help them.
Okay.
Yes.
No, I didn't want to cut you off, but I was going to ask. So, people who don't know what alternative learning is this? Do you deal with, or are you a teacher with children that like? Do they have? Is it like mental health predominantly, or is it just like behavioral issues? Like, what's the scope that you deal with?
It's a combination. It varies from student to student. Sometimes it's defiancy. Sometimes it's mental health. Sometimes it's just behaviors that they can't always control. So we find ways and use different programs and plans to help them to manage their behavior or their aggression or whatever emotional state they're in.
Wow.
And the most important thing is always trying to build a relationship with them, because once you have established a rapport with them, they begin to trust you.
Absolutely.
And we spend most of our time with these students during the day. We see them a lot more, 6 hours a day, sometimes 7 if there's an after-school program. And they confide in us. So once you have that relationship with them on a personal level, then it's easier for the educators to foster or navigate their education.
Right.
So once we build that relationship, it becomes more solid. They trust us, and then they're more willing and receptive to criticism, to support, to getting things done, and to moving forward in the right direction.
Oh man. So that sounds like a task in itself, because I think it requires, whenever someone tells me that they work in an alternative program, for me, the first thing I think is like, you're walking into a situation, and granted, when we deal with people on a day-to-day basis, we never know their background or their history or what to expect in a moment to moment. But I think when it comes to the situation you're talking about, it requires even I think a deeper level of patience, understanding, but also it just requires a certain kind of person to show up in that environment and keep showing up and, being patient, being sincere, and also doing a job well. So how is that for you personally? Like, is it taxing for you to keep showing up, or like, is it something that you honestly enjoy, and do you get a sense of like gratification or a job well done from being able to help, and the fact that somebody trusts you, who they may not have had that before, but now they have somebody that they can confide in and that they're willing to listen to? Like, do you see a change in behavior with these kids that you've personally, worked with?
Oh, yes. For me, it's very rewarding to see their growth. I think growth is the most important thing that I look for, is to see where we started to where we are at the end of the school year.
Right.
Most of my students, I still see them like virtually, even though they turn their cameras off, but
right.
We still have a connection, and we still, we're able to break out into smaller groups, and we can catch up with each other, and they fill me in on what's been going on in their lives and what are they doing as far as sports or how they're behaving at home.
Right.
And it's just nice to be able to be that person for someone else, be that outlet.
Dope.
And allow that safe space for them to have that opportunity to speak about whatever it is that's on their mind. So when I work with these students and we're in separate breakout rooms via Google Meet, I just the first thing that we do is we kind of catch up, whether it's 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I allow them that time to, just let loose, talk about what they want to talk about, and then we get down to work, because
Okay.
they want to be able to release that.
Right.
And they're not seeing me every day, and they're not having that time that they used to have in person. So I allow them that time to just talk freely, and then once we have that conversation, they feel good, they feel better, they're ready to work, they get the work done.
Yeah.
And we just repeat that cycle. So it's something that's helpful for them, because they can benefit from just being able to release whatever it is on their mind.
Dope. That's pretty dope. I think, well, it's funny because I feel like you, in some way, shape, or form, you've always had to be a caretaker. And, guys, she's also not letting on to the fact that she's a black belt in karate, and she's been. Ty, when did you start martial arts? At 4? You know the story better than I do, so give me that background.
Man, okay. I started martial arts when I was 4. I was the first female black belt in my karate school to earn a black belt. Mm-hmm. I was 11. That was in October of 1995.
Wow. Okay.
With that martial arts background, the most important thing that I've gained from it, what has shaped me to be who I am today, is the discipline aspect of it.
Right.
And that discipline allows you to kind of separate yourself from others, and you know right from wrong, you know what's expected of you.
Right.
You can leave a legacy, and I've been able to be well respected.
Yeah.
As a martial artist, as an older sibling, as a basketball coach, as someone in education. So that foundation right there has opened the pathway to foster who I am today.
Go off, sis. Go off then, or whatever. I think that's awesome. And I've talked to these guys about you before in the, martial arts, and that, she's a badass in all respects. And I think the great thing about it is, like, if somebody met you, they wouldn't know that you have this history of experience, but also training. Right. And it's funny because she was my sensei when I was in the dojo too. So I was trained under her, and she didn't go easy on me. She definitely did not go easy on me at all. And it's cool, I think, my sister and I, because we grew up together, and 4 years difference, she was like, she just had my back. And I think, what was it like for you, Tanya? And you can be honest, what was it like for you being like a big sister to me? Like, how was that how's that experience growing up, and how is it now?
When I was younger, it was so much fun, because it was the typical role of being, the elder sibling, the oldest sibling, and being able to be in that authoritative role and be bossy.
Yes.
Who doesn't enjoy bossing their sibling around? Now that you're much taller, bigger, stronger, it's different. It's just like, oh, that's my brother.
Yeah.
My brother, the actor.
Yeah.
My brother who does all these amazing things, and I call you Jack because you wear so many different hats. You are literally in my phone as Jack of all trades.
Come on.
So it's for me, it's rewarding. But now to see you grow up and blossom and do all these different things and inspire different people and have this podcast and you're modeling and acting and you're a personal trainer. So now I go to you to get fitness advice. I'm like, okay, I want to tone this up, or I want to do this. What do you think I should do? Which running shoes do you think I should wear? And you send me, Google Docs of my macros. Did I say that right? Macros?
Yeah, you said macros, okay. Right? You got it.
Macros and what I should do. And then we even did a live workout once. You didn't know I was popping on your live.
Yeah.
I was like, let me join his workout, and then I had on the T-shirt with your picture on it. So just to see you grow up and blossom and be successful at what you do has been a proud moment for me because I always tear up when I see like articles of you and I see you on the TV. I'm like have my cell phone out taking pictures and recording your your movies, your TV shows. I know all your lines to
You
every
do.
single thing you did. I know those lines and I text you. I'm like,
Yeah.
what line is this from?
Oh man. Yeah, when I tell you she'll know my lines better than I do. And it's cool. I think the one thing I appreciate about what you said is that, you have like consistently been supportive and I think it was you said it to me a few times, besides telling me I was a singing tree, be the best singing tree you can whenever I go on auditions. You remind me, and you remind me to keep going forward and to just keep to keep pushing and that things are going to work out. When I tell you guys that, my sister has been like a driving force in terms of like my tenacity. My mom too. My sister is just like, she's the homie. And it's nothing like having somebody that regardless of what you do, they support you no matter what. It helps to be doing good things, but like, just to know that there's somebody that has my back and I have hers, don't get it twisted. Just to know that you have that in your space and in your cipher and like just easily accessible means the world. You know, I think I don't tell you enough, Tanya. I hope I tell you enough, but like, I hope you know how proud of you I am. Just the person you choose to be on any given day, and how again you are always being a big sister or a caretaker for other people, and just showing up and kicking ass. Like I said, it's like we all have choices. You know what I'm saying? We all have choices. We could be doing different things, but whenever whenever we're in a position to be responsible for someone else and we do the job well, that's so much to speak for, even if it is a thankless job. You do it well and you've done it well, since I can remember. So, this is just me publicly saying, thank you for being my big sister and thank you for being like my champion and my homie. It's a big deal. It's really a big deal. And you do it well. You do it well. Even
Thank you.
yeah, yeah.
That's nice. That's very nice.
You the homie. I also wanted to say,
I feel that.
you feel
I
that?
felt that. That's heartfelt. Yes.
Good.
And I know you're proud of me. You've said it countless times.
Good. Okay. I also want to tell people how you colored your troll. You remember when you colored your?
I just spoke about that 2 days ago.
Did you really?
Yes.
Good.
And I blamed you. Of course. Yes.
Dude.
I remember that troll.
Do you remember? Because I remember that day vividly. I think it was either after you were going to the dojo or it was before. But basically, okay, I'll tell you guys this story because she's not going to tell it right. She's going to make herself the victim. So basically, Tanya had this lucky troll, and it was blue. It had blue hair,
Yes.
and it had a blue gemstone in its stomach. At one point, the troll used to wear a robe, but then it just ended up naked everywhere. Like, homie had no clothes. So Tanya, she took it upon herself, and I watched her do this. I know why this happened. Okay, so it was after Halloween. It was definitely after Halloween because Tanya was a witch for one Halloween when we were younger, and she had green face paint. Like the face paint was fire. It was fire. So she had this green face paint, and I watched her color this troll's face green. Like she decked that troll out. That troll's face was beat. It wasn't a spot on it that wasn't green. And I saw it and I was like, oh, that's weird, but cool. I'm only like 5 or 6, so it's none of my business. She's doing what she's doing. So when it came time to, I think my mom had saw it. She was like, who did this to this troll? And before I could even figure out what just happened, Tanya immediately said, she was like, yeah, Zaya did it. And I'm looking at her sideways.
The perks of being an older sibling.
Bro, and when I tell you, I got in trouble and I was still confused because at one point I was like, wait, did I do it? Because I watched.
So I sound pretty convincing, huh?
Dude, it was bad because I was like, wait, did I do this? And I know I didn't do it, but why do I feel like I did it? And why is she not in trouble for doing it? I was bothered, and still to this day I remember that. And every now and then I just ask her if she remembers, and clearly she does because
Yeah, I just spoke of that
wow.
2 days ago.
What
I
it,
remember that troll. I don't know why I colored the troll's face green. I just did it. It's just
Right.
something that you do when
Right.
you're younger. You just do things, and then later on in life, you look back and you say, why? Why
Why?
did you do that?
W-
You
right.
don't know, but you just do.
Did
So
you
that was one of my Nike moments. I just did it.
was there any remorse for you blaming me, or are you still like, you still feel at peace about that?
I'm not sure that I quite understand.
So let me break it down for you.
I don't think I remember.
Right.
blaming you.
Right.
Yes.
You don't remember blaming me, you just remember being innocent.
I just remember coloring a troll. I don't remember
Right.
blaming you, but I mean your memory is very vivid, and you painted a very colorful picture.
I
No
did.
pun intended, but
Right.
you painted a colorful picture of the
Right.
story. So
Right.
I'm gonna go with what you're saying, and I'm gonna offer an apology for blaming that on you.
Wow,
So
thank
I
you.
apologize after all these years.
After all these years, the pain.
I feel better.
You feel better?
I feel better. Mom, if you're listening, it wasn't Isaiah, it was me.
Oh man. Well, I'm trying to think of anything else you blame me for. You blame me for oat milk, like drinking oat milk.
I don't remember that.
I know you don't. It's easy for you to forget when you were the perpetrator, I think. It's a
Yes,
whole different
yes.
vibe when you're being interrogated and like persecuted for something that you did not do.
I remember the cigarette lighter.
Oh geez, I'm not.
Yes.
I actually still have that on my hand. I ain't gonna
Oh,
tell you
wow.
about that. Yeah, that doesn't go. It's like sometimes in life, the people, it be your own. Those are the people that burn you first.
It's your own, literally.
It be your own, bro. That's crazy. Wait, what's your I was thinking about this. What's your favorite movie and favorite food and favorite song?
Oh, favorite movie.
Mm-hmm.
Loving basketball.
Okay.
Favorite food.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll go with two. My favorite fruit
Okay.
are grapes. And my favorite food
Uh-huh.
is it's a toss-up between shrimp and baked macaroni and cheese.
Come on now. I was talking about did you perfect Mama Duke's recipe or no? Because I still haven't got it.
Yes.
But you did?
I got it. I got it down the second time I got it down. Yes.
Well, it's funny because I still make it my own way, and I refuse to tell her. Like whenever she asks, and I hope she don't listen to this, but like whenever she asks, she be like, "Did you get the cheese?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got it." Meanwhile, I'm just doing whatever I got to do to make it work, and it still won't
Right.
come out right. I'm
As
like,
long as it's edible.
it's
It's made
edible.
with love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fire. It's not hers, but it's like I can't tell her that I'm not getting it right because that is always gonna be a situation. Oh man. What
My
huh?
favorite song, you
Yeah,
asked.
yeah.
My favorite song is "Count on Me" by Whitney Houston and CeCe Winans.
Oh geez, I forgot about
Love
that
that
song.
song.
Of course, do you still listen to it?
Yes.
Oh, disgusting. You remember? You remember? You remember that that TV show Welcome Freshman?
Yes.
I for some reason I think about that show from time to time. So basically, guys, when I was younger, I watched whatever my sister watched, and there was just a lot of stuff that she like. Salute Your Struts,
Yes.
Welcome Freshman. You used to also cheat in video games. Like that was a thing too. So we had. You remember the Pac-Man Street Fighter song, Ty?
Yes.
All right, we gonna sing it. One.
Oh my God, no.
Come on. I'm Beyonce. You gonna be my backup. All right.
Oh gosh. I gotta
Three,
be back up. Okay.
3, 2, 1. One
One
day,
day,
my
my
mama
mama
told
told me
me on a
on a Saturday.
Saturday.
You're lagging for some
Why are you going so slow? I'll
Okay.
eat at Blimp
At Blimp
Bees
Bees, and
and
I
play
will play
Pac-Man,
Pac-Man.
pop up, pop up, Street
Street
Fighter.
Fighter.
You sound, wait, hold on, cut,
Pac-Man.
because you sound real unsure about the lyrics.
Oh, I know. It's just you were lagging on my end, so it was like a delay.
Guys, this is what happens when you don't show up to rehearsal in life. I remember that song like it was yesterday.
Yes.
That was a good time. Yeah, when we were growing up, we had a Sega Genesis, and Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was like the game. Sonic the Hedgehog, then it was Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, right?
Yes. Mortal Kombat. Yes.
That was
Dalzim
that
was
was
my character.
and Street Fighter. Yeah, yeah. She used to cheat. She was a big button masher, and when I tell you, I used to get so frustrated
But imagine.
playing where she was terrible because like she just wouldn't let me get my hits off, and like I didn't know that as a kid you had that much rage in you, but like I would just kind of boil a little bit, and it was like I was like, man, I'm too young to go to prison, but like it is what it is. Let's just try to finish this game, you know, you know, you know what I'm saying?
Hilarious.
So, time, but the last thing before what I'd ask you, what's one thing that you take away from this year? I know it's been a crazy year for us and our family, but like, what's one thing? What's your takeaway from this year?
Oh, from this year, I think I would have to say, um, I feel like it's very important to keep communication open.
Mm-hmm.
You just never know when it's your last day or when it's someone else's last day.
Amen.
I believe that communication is so essential in every relationship that you have, whether it's work, whether it's with a personal relationship, whether it's coaching, whether you're an employee and you're communicating with your boss, or whether it's, mother-daughter, father-son. I just think communication is great because you always want to make sure that, you can check up on somebody just to see how they're doing. And it's just important to keep those lines of communication going because people look forward to that.
Yeah.
And it could just make somebody's day, even if it's just a text message. It doesn't always have to be a phone call, but there's various ways to communicate now with social media, with technology,
Right.
Evolving. There's, FaceTime. There's so many ways that you can just drop a message to a loved one or a friend or a colleague,
Yeah.
and just let them know that you're thinking about them. So I think that communication is always important, no matter what relationship it is. It just shows that mutual respect, or and it just shows that you're thinking about that person, and a little bit goes a long way with that.
Absolutely. I love that. I definitely love that. Yeah, and you're good at it. I think I think for us it's kind of crazy because our communication is random, and it's very it's hard to I love it just because it's random, but at the same time, it always makes sense for us, at least.
Right.
The
For
people,
us, right?
yeah,
Because I can text you lyrics to a song,
Yeah.
and you reply right away. You know that song, or
yeah,
lines from a movie. I'll
Right.
say, "What movie is this from?"
Right.
And you'll say the line back. Now I can say lines to you from
Yeah.
movies that you've been in, and I
Right.
can say your lines, and you can say, "Oh, that was the movie I was in." So I think that's cool.
dude,
Because
you're
we grew
cool.
up doing that all the time, just saying movie quotes
Yeah,
all the time. And if you didn't get it right, the other person got a point.
right. And I think we stopped keeping points at this
Yes.
point just because it was
Yes.
like I was winning. I'm sure I was
Yes.
winning. Right.
Yes, I remember you winning.
Right.
That I remember.
Right.
I forget a lot, but I remember you winning, and I stopped keeping tally
Right.
as far as points are concerned.
Because you weren't winning. You were like, well, there's no point in keeping score anymore because
Exactly. At some point, you just got to know, hey, listen, you're up by a lot, and
Right.
I'm back here.
Right.
I'm in single digits. You're up there in the triple digits. So at that point, you just gotta just throw in the towel.
Right.
And just do it for fun. And that's when you just play for fun.
Right. You play for fun.
You
right.
play for fun. You're not playing to win. You're just enjoying doing something.
Right.
You're like, okay, let's just play for fun now because you're kicking my tail and I'm not good at this anymore.
Right. And me being the, the peacekeeper, I'm like, yeah, sure. Realizing that it affected me. It affected me much more than it affects you, because all those points I don't remember. When I decided to stop keeping score, that meant that the work I did to get to where I was meant nothing anymore. You're twisted. You're twisted, sister.
Isn't that a group?
Huh? A twisted sister? Yeah, it is.
Yes. Oh gosh.
Yeah. You're the poster child for it because you take it literal. You are.
Oh.
Wow. I can never get those points back, dude.
That's okay. That is just okay.
Well,
you know you're a winner at heart, so that's all that matters.
Do I though? At this point, I don't even know how much I was winning by. I won.
A lot. A landslide.
Yeah. Loving basketball. Give us a movie quote. Let's see if we could guess it.
Okay. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay.
Who
Do you think started this damn company, huh? Dude, you know what's funny? Because I was trying to think of a quote from Waiting to Exhale, like while I was talking to you just now. So that's perfect.
Great minds think alike.
Truly. Talia, thank you for being on here. Thank you for just sharing this space with me. And thank you for being an awesome person, like I said, in society, but also an awesome big sister. And somebody that I could rely on to just have my back and my best interest every step of the way on this crazy ass journey that is called life.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome. I was so nervous to get on, but after a while, it was just normal.
Yeah.
Like a casual conversation. So this is my first experience with a podcast.
Let's go.
Other than my cameos on The Night Owl.
Yes.
This has been fun.
Guys, I forgot to mention, she has been a voice on The Night Owl. She's been, what was her name? Miss what? Margaret or Miss Mary? Miss Molly.
Miss Molly.
Yes.
Mrs. Molly. That's me.
Yeah, this is Miss Molly, guys. He's a star in the making. I'll end up having her voice more characters in stories to come. But yeah, thank you for always just willing to be down.
Yes, I'm enjoying this. Thank you for allowing me to share my voice on your platform. Thank you for using my voice as Mrs. Molly. Thank you for just being awesome and inspiring people. I love you so much. I'm super proud of you and everything that you do. Reaching for the stars, because there's no limit to what you can do.
Thank you. I will definitely remember that and receive it wholeheartedly. And likewise.
Yes.
Heck yeah.
This was fun. Take flight.
Later, guys.
92% of households that join Peloton early in the year are still active a year later.
Yeah, if you like cycling to EDM.
Not just EDM. Try cycling to Broadway hits, take a scenic hike in Iceland on our treadmill, or row to some 80s jams.
Because I have so much free time.
Whether you have 30 minutes or just 5, Peloton can fit any schedule. 92% stick with it. So can you. Try Peloton tread, row, or bikes risk-free with a 30-day home trial. New members only. Not available in remote locations. See additional terms at onepeloton.com/home-trial.